Hi class and welcome to week 6 of ELM 210. This is the week that we've been building towards the whole class. Weeks 1 through 5, you developed other pieces that would help you complete your week 6 benchmark, which we're working on this week. So take a look up here at the top. This assignment is worth 300 points. That's a third of your grade in this class. So please start early in the week, as early as you can. Time management will be critical in completing this very, very detailed assignment. We'll take a look at my announcement in just a second, as well as the template that I've made for you, so that you don't have to submit separate files for this. But let's take a look at the assignment details really quickly. So for this benchmark, you are creating a mini unit, 3 informational text-based lesson plans, and a corresponding assessment plan. Now what that means is that you're using the same book, the same standard, and the same objective that you created in week 1 to teach this for 3 days. So everything that you've created throughout this course, you can and should use in your benchmark this week. Based on this information, you'll be including research-based strategies in your instruction. You'll be using the class profile that we provided in week 1 in the course materials. You'll have an introduction for your assessment plan, and you'll have your assessment plan, your summative assessment that you started in week 3, week 3. So let's take a quick peek at the rubric. There is a very detailed rubric for this assignment, so please review this before you even start working on it. This is how I have to grade your assignment, so please review all of these detailed informational pieces here that will help you understand how I have to grade your assignment. So now class, I've switched over to the announcements tab, and again this is just one of my classes that I've taught, so let's open up the topic 6 announcement. The Topic 6 announcement just tells you, again, all of our objectives this week and how we've been building towards this, basically this final assignment, this benchmark assignment. We still have one more week after this, but this is the culmination of everything that you've been working on in class so far. So again, this benchmark is worth 300 points, so make sure this is a priority this week for you and ask any questions that you have so far. So this announcement is really short because I do rely on the assignment details as well for this, and there is an attached template right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this template. Okay class, so here is the Topic 6 Benchmark Unit template. And as you can see here, a lot of this information are things that you've already completed in a previous assignment. So for example, the lesson summary and focus, I would expect you to just copy and paste in here from the previous assignment where you did your lesson summary and focus. I believe it's week 1. Classroom and student factors was also from week 1. You want to make sure you include this information. If you do not have the student and classroom factors, that's okay, just put them in now. The class profile was provided to you in the week 1 course materials, but perhaps you haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So here I would expect you to just give me the characteristics of the makeup of your class. How many boys do you have? How many girls? How many students are ELL? How many students have accommodations or IEPs or IDPs? Things like that. So this is simply just a list of the demographics of the students in your classroom. The state standard, the learning objective, those should have already been completed. Formative assessment is related to week 2. And for the teaching notes box, all you have to do is put which day you're currently working on. So for example, day 1. This first day, you're including your academic language. This was your week 4 assignment, so you just have to pop that information here. And each day I should see your instructional materials change because we want to make sure we're using different materials, equipment, and technology as well each day. So here is the section on instruction for day 1. This, hopefully, is mostly your week 5 assignment that you completed, your instructional strategies assignment. So hopefully, based on some revisions with my feedback, you've been able to revise and update your script. Make sure in your script that you do have, for each day, you need to have 2 instructional strategies that you're using to teach that lesson. That's how you're teaching that day. You also need to include any modeling, any of your DOK questions for day 1. I should see 4 DOK questions for each day based on your week 2 assignment. I should also see you teach your academic language function and graphic organizer. I should see it in this script, as well as any vocabulary that you did for day 1. And then I should also see any kind of a closure or wrap up for the first day of your instruction. In the Students Do column, I should see the steps that the students are doing should match up with the steps that you're teaching over here. And differentiation should be listed depending on different steps of the lesson. So now you can see that there's a smaller planning section for day 2, and then you have an instruction section for day 2. Take this lesson from day 1 and make sure it progresses to the next step. I should see a new vocabulary, a new function and form, new materials, and I should see those taken from the planning section and moved down into your script. So for this day, I should see new DOK questions, maybe higher level questions. I should see new instructional strategies. And I should see your second day's function and form being taught here. Finally, you have your day 3. There should be higher level thinking happening at this point. This is the final day of your lesson before you assess your students. So I should see higher level vocabulary, another function and form here, additional materials. And then down below, again, you still need to include 2 instructional strategies for this day's instruction. Your DOK questions, probably levels 3 and 4 on the final day, higher level thinking. And you need to make sure you're teaching that third day function and form here and wrapping up the lesson with some closure. The next section of the benchmark is your assessment plan introduction. Some of your introduction can be related to your week 3 assignment, where you included a rationale for the first part of your summative assessment, because in week 3 you created a rationale, and you also created 1 short answer question and 5 multiple choice questions for the test. So please pull those and put those in here. Now, for the rest of the summative assessment plan, you do have directions from your week 3 assignment, and you do have your short response. But now you need to have enough for a total of 3 days because this is considered a mini unit. So you would want to have more than one short answer question and 5 multiple choice. Now you need to have a total of 3 short response questions with varied cognitive skills, which means that the first question might be lower level and the other 2 questions might be higher level. You also need to have 15 multiple choice questions now. So again, you had 5 created in week 3, but now you need to include 10 more for a total of 15. And then again, you do need to have an answer key for your questions. I should see what those acceptable questions look like. When you're finished, I would highly recommend that you go back and delete any of these directions. Those do not need to be in your benchmark when you're finished. As well as any of this italicized information, you want to delete it before you do your final submission. One quick tip in working on this benchmark assignment. Take breaks along the way and save this file often. There have been many times when students have lost their work because they didn't save it often enough. The other thing that I would suggest is copy and paste things into this document from your previous assignments that you've already revised as you go. Once you have a box that's finished, delete the directions. You'll know that box is done, is complete. If you're currently working on a section that you need to come back to, for example, you're not quite finished with it, you might want to highlight it a really obnoxious color, and that way you'll know you need to come back to it. Once you're finally finished with that section, you can delete the color, and you'll know that that section is done. These are just some really small tips to help you work on this assignment. The final tip I would say is after you're finished with copying and pasting the planning sections and things that you've already created in previous weeks, focus on your script, your I do column. I really suggest doing the 3 I do columns all in a row. Don't worry about the students do or the differentiation just yet. Go from I do the first day to the I do for the second day to the I do to the third day. This way you can make sure that your unit flows naturally, that it progresses from the lower level the first day all the way up to higher level for the third day. Okay, we want this lesson to progress. We want by day 3, we want the students to be using higher level thinking, critical thinking skills, synthesizing information, being able to do more things on their own, maybe with less grouping, with less support, so that after the third day, you'd be able to test them with their assessment plan, with their unit test. Okay, so it is a lot of work. And you do need to pay close attention to all the details and the rubric when you're working on this assignment. But keep in mind, all of our previous assignments are helping you complete this final 3-day unit. Your week 5 assignment, again, is essentially day 1. So you basically have day 1 finished already, but make sure you revise it based on my grading feedback from the week before. And then you just need to complete day 2 and day 3 and your assessment plan. So as always, please review the rubric, the assignment details, and also let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. But please, please start early on this and ask questions early in the week so that you're more successful. Waiting until the weekend to start on this benchmark assignment will not be successful. So please, please start early and plan your time accordingly. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help in the QTI or individual forum, or you can give me a call as well. And I hope you have a great benchmark week.